Big focus this evening. The Indian Navy submarine arm has been in the news for the last couple of years for all the wrong reasons, from the tragedy aboard the INS Indurakshak to the battery fire that killed 2 sailors aboard another submarine a few months later. But finally, there's some reason to cheer. In a simulated underwater combat exercise with the odds stacked against it, the Indian Navy managed to hunt and destroy this US Navy nuclear submarine, the USS City of Corpus Christi, in the Bay of Bengal. What has stunned both sides is that the Indian submariners managed to achieve the stunt using a much less sophisticated submarine than the Americans, who were armed with a Los Angeles-class nuclear-powered submarine. Compared to the smaller but clearer, no less deadly Indian Kilo class, the underwater hunt, real in all respects except for the actual firing of a weapon, took place in mid-October and has proved to be a huge boost to submarine pride in the Indian Navy, given that the sensor used to track the more formidable American submarine was an Indian-built sonar. Let's get now from Jugal Purohit, who's with us live this evening. Jugal, put this in perspective for us. What were the contours of this exercise?
That's right. For a beleaguered force which has always been in the news for, rather I would say, the wrong set of reasons, this should come as a shot in the arm for the Indian Navy submarine fleet. What we are given to understand that this particular exercise was a part of the Malabar series, which took place between the 14th of October and 19th of October in the Bay of Bengal on the eastern seaboard of the country. And that's where there was a particular set of exercise where both of these submarines, the Indian naval submarine Sindhudwaj and the US submarine City of Corpus Christi, both of them dived, and their mission actually was to hunt the other down and, in a sense, simulate a successful attack. In that situation is when we are given to understand, using an Indian-made sonar. Remember, India is among the world's topmost arms and radars and sensors importer, and this was, however, a rare Indian invention, a rare Indian sonar which actually picked up this particular American submarine and managed to actually simulate a successful attack. That's what happened there. And before the Americans could even know about it, or before the Americans could even have a hint, they were already toast. The game was up, and they were informed that they had actually lost out on this count.
And Jugal, India, Japan and US came together for the combat drill. What is the message that's being sent out from this exercise?
Well, you see, one needs to see it in a wider perspective. What is taking place right now is that in that particular Malabar edition, we saw the navies of US, India and Japan exercising. All these 3 countries, if you are to make an assessment, are actually feeling threatened, or in a sense taking note of the rise of China. The PLA Navy, which is the largest maritime force in Asia with over 300 vessels, which includes submarines as well as surface ships. That's the dominating power which is, in a sense, aspiring to rule not just the waters in and of Asia but also beyond. It has a potent submarine fleet which also consists of the same set of diesel-electric conventional EKM submarines that the Indian Navy has. In fact, China has many more of them. It's for the first time that Indian Navy actually allowed this particular submarine to participate, because it was also always wary. It didn't want to let go of its submarine and expose it to foreign elements. This time it did so, and in doing so it actually managed to score over an American nuclear attack submarine, which is quite a feat by itself. And as I was saying, the larger picture, of course, is that the Chinese Navy, which is increasingly also coming into a non-traditional area like the Indian Ocean region, is in a sense making the other navies, including the Indian, Japanese and the US, a little wary. And in a sense, this exercise can very well be seen as fitting into some kind of a grouping, even though at an informal level, of these 3 navies which can operate, understand each other together and coordinate better. So in that sense, that was the background of this exercise, and the fact that the Indian submarine actually managed to score over a nuclear-powered attack submarine of the 7th Fleet. Remember, the same fleet which sailed into the Bay of Bengal in the 1971 war to sort of threaten India. That very fleet, right, a submarine of which was detected and in a simulated attack neutralized. That's a piece of good news which has come about.